Now we are going to discuss about the chemical potential of solute and solvent in an ideal solution. Okay. When a solution is present in a solution, then there can be some solvent molecule can goes to vapor phase, and there will be a equilibrium. That is, if I have a container like this and I have solution here I have solution, and this interface I have a equilibrium in between vapor phase and liquid phase of the solvent. So solvent molecule in solution will in equilibrium with the solvent molecule in vapor phase. That is liquid vapor equilibrium for solvent molecules. Because if I added a non-volatile solute, then there is no question of such equilibrium for the solute. That is only observable for the volatile solvent only. Now mu L for liquid, sol for solvent equal to mu L star V. The first term is the chemical potential of liquid, that is the solvent in solution, and the second term is the chemical potential of liquid which present in the vapor phase. Okay. Now if we consider this vapor phase is like a ideal gas, so we can write that this chemical potential will be equal to standard chemical potential of this vapor plus RT ln P by P0. Okay, P by P naught, and this P naught is related to the pressure where we are defining this mu naught value of liquid which present in the vapor phase. This expression for vapor phase only. Now and P is the pressure of the vapor of the solution. That is, P is the pressure of the vapor which is generated from the vaporization of solvent molecules from the solution. So mu L a solution, that is the chemical potential of solvent in the solution will be equal to mu naught L vapor phase plus RT ln P by P0, because this is equal to that much. So that much equal to, we can write this. Okay, just this equation, that equation, 1, 2 comparing, we can write mu L, that is the chemical potential of solvent in the solution, will be equal to standard chemical potential of the solvent present in the vapor phase plus RT ln P by P naught. So using Raoult's law, we can write that P equal to x1 into PL star. PL star is the vapor pressure of pure solvent. Okay, L for liquid and this L for solvent also. So this PL star is the vapor pressure of the pure solvent, where x equal to 1. Okay, so if I put this x1 PL star P star PL star, then what will become? This mu L solvent solution will become mu 0 LV, this much, then that, and I will find a mu naught this plus RT PL star by P naught plus RT ln x1. Okay, now for pure solvent, x1 equal to 1. So for pure solvent, what will become? For pure solvent, we have already noted the pressure is pure solvent. For pure solvent, we are noting this x1 term equal to x1 will be 1. So this term will vanish. So this term and that term will exist. And if we consider that the for chemical potential for pure solvent, we are denoting as a star symbol, that is liquid in liquid state, star will be this much. Then for pure solvent, this this mu L solution will become mu L only. That is, solution will be replaced by solvent. So mu L of L star, then this will becomes like this. Now mu L, this is the chemical potential for pure solvent. Now equation 4, this one becomes what? If I put these two terms as mu L star, that is the chemical potential of pure solvent. So the chemical potential of solvent in the solution will be equal to chemical potential of pure solvent plus RT ln x1. Now x1, that is mole fraction or amount fraction, is a fractional number which is less than 1. So the ln less than 1 will be a negative quantity. So I have always a chemical potential of a solvent in the solution is less than the chemical potential of its pure state. That is, the pure solvent has higher chemical potential than the chemical potential of the solvent. And it can be said in other words that when you are adding some non-volatile solute to a solvent to form a solution, then the chemical potential of the solvent decreases. Okay, and the chemical potential decreases means the Gibbs free energy per mole decreases. Again you can say, if the Gibbs free energy, that means Gibbs free energy change for a solution formation is negative. That is, the final state has lower Gibbs free energy than the initial state. So Gibbs free energy for solution formation is less, and then the delta G value is negative and the process is spontaneous. Okay. Please remember that when I have a delta G value less, then that side my equilibrium will shift, or that is will be a spontaneous process, or that is will be a favorable process. And if you want to look on this equation, last equation, that will be looks like very similar to the expression for an ideal gas in a mixture of gases. We have already studied this type of things in open system. Now we want to study the chemical potential for a solute. Let's consider this solute also a liquid, but it is non-volatile. Okay. Now we want to measure the chemical potential of the solute. That is, specifically it is a non-volatile solute. So if you can remember the Gibbs-Duhem equation, where we have summation Ni d mu I equal to 0. That is, if you remember the Gibbs-Duhem equation is this. Gibbs-Duhem equation is the summation I Ni d mu I equal to 0. That is for mixing. When we have talked about the mixing of ideal gases, then we have noticed this type of expression, and this is 0. Now we are considering a binary mixture where two components are there, 1 and 2, and we are considering this 1 is for solvent and 2 for solute, non-volatile solute. Okay, both the present in the solution. So solution means there is a mixing, so we can use this Gibbs-Duhem equation. Now Gibbs-Duhem equation signifies that number of moles multiplied by d mu of this constituent, then it will be 0. The sum will be 0. So N1 d mu 1 in solution plus N2 d mu 2 in solution will be 0 but at constant temperature and pressure. Now d mu 2 in solution we can write minus N1 by N2 d mu 1 solution. So again we know that the mole fraction or amount fraction x1 equal to n1 by n1 plus n2. Similarly, x2 is n2 by n1 plus n2. So n1 by n2 we can write x1 by x2. So we replace this n term by x term, that is minus x1 by x2 d mu 1 solution. Let the component 1 is solvent, which I have talked already. Then mu 1, then we can write that mu 1 of mu 1 in solution will be mu 1 L, that is chemical potential of pure state, pure solvent, plus RT ln x1. Okay, RT ln x1. Now at constant temperature, we can, if we differentiate this is a constant quantity, and we can if we differentiate that term, that will be 0. Rest of the term will be d mu 1 equal to RT by x1 dx1. Now that will be term for this is for the solvent. Similarly, I can write d mu 2 solution will be equal to x1 by x2 RT by x1 dx1. That is the thing. I can put this d mu 1 term, this d mu 1 solution this side, this equation I can put this relationship, and then I have a this x1 will cut, then I have x2. Now I know that x1 plus x2 equal to 1, so dx1 will be minus dx2. So I can replace this dx1 with dx2. Okay, so that will be minus minus plus and dx2 by x2. That brings me mu 2 of in solution, that is the mu 2 is the chemical potential of solute in solution, equal to RT ln x2 plus I. Now I is the integral constant. If I integrate this term, that means d mu 2 solution. Okay, now if I integrate this, I can have this. Now if I consider for pure solute, then x2 equal to 1, and mu 2 solution, that becomes the mu 2 star, that is the pure case. So mu 2 solution equal to RT ln x2 plus mu 2 L star. That means the pure state, chemical potential in pure state. Again, x2 is less than 1, so I can have a low, I always have a lower value than the pure state. So the chemical potential of a constituent present in a solution always be lower than the chemical potential of its pure state.